My name is Zoe. I am the Tipsy Psychic, and today we're going to talk about the compatibility between a Scorpio Sagittarius Cusp and a Taurus. Yay! A Taurus will feel very stable to you. You can have great times with each other and live your fairy tale together. However, you will lack narration to your story. It will be difficult to just have fun when you feel like you have to be the overseer or the decision maker. If you want to be content in this relationship, then you need to accept each other first. Being together really shines light on your carefree spirits and allows you to be spontaneous together and let loose. If you can't decide what to do, then something needs to change. You're gonna have to take charge. And if you make a decision and take action, it's going to be your responsibility to really uphold whatever you commit to and whatever you decide. Don't be hypocritical. Stay present. Don't get swept away on a regular basis. Sometimes you're not able to understand your Taurus. You have to see beyond their exterior and see beyond their facade that they put on. A Taurus is someone you can count on in many ways. You will make each other lazier, and over time you'll feel less productive. You may feel like procrastination becomes a really big issue. You need to accept them in all areas of their life. For some reason, you're always afraid of being dismissed, no matter how open and honest you are with each other. There's this tension, like you're afraid it may not last. If you decide to commit to them, make it clear and then keep your word on things. Don't doubt any of it. You can be emotional in the way you communicate. You value honesty and trust, and you may feel like you're just being true to yourself and open. But there is a difference between being overly dramatic and openly communicative. You don't have to make a mess to get your point across. Do not expect your Taurus to play along with your drama. And drama has a very different definition to them. And so you may not feel like you're being dramatic, but they might feel like you're being very dramatic, and you might not see eye to eye on that. You'll probably wear the pants in this relationship, you Scorpio Sagittarius Cuspers. You both spend a lot of time talking and dreaming about accomplishments or things you want to do and success, or just things you want to try in the future. And you need to start putting your foot forward and making these things happen, or they're just not going to happen. You both were really raised differently. You have different values. You were raised on different beliefs, different morals, sometimes different religions. Just in general, it usually didn't match up when you were growing up. But that's what makes you guys so strong. Instead of rejecting each other because you're so different in your beliefs, it somehow makes you stronger. And you both appreciate truth and love and honesty. You'll have to make your actions and your intentions very clear if you want this relationship to move forward. Do not just expect your Taurus to understand you and know what you're feeling or what you want. It's often so easy to think that the people we care about just know what we're thinking about, but your Taurus won't get it. You have to make it clear to them. Don't scold them or act judgy or critical towards them, because after a while they won't even remember what they saw in you. Why am I dating this person? Why do I even like them in the first place? You always feel kind of disappointed and shameful after fights you have. You think about what are things you could have done differently, and why did I do that? Do not be a self-martyr. A Taurus will be very curious to know how you're feeling. Hey, are you okay? And a lot of the time, you won't want to talk about your feelings all the time. That's just not who you are. What's on your mind? You're making a face. They'll look for things, they'll interpret things, and they'll be curious about you. And even if they have intentions that are very pure and good and positive, and they just care and want to know how you're doing, it's like, it's going to be kind of frustrating to you. Often you find yourself spending time together, eating food or buying things. You always end up spending money together even when you're like, we're not going to spend today, but you do. Even when you just want quality time. You'd rather have one quality moment with really nice food and like just a really nice date than a bunch of like random moments together that you can just get your hands on that aren't necessarily very high quality. Like, you don't want to just meet up whenever you can and go eat junk food together. You'd rather have one nice moment than just like random moments where you're not spending as much time together, if that makes any sense. Quality over quantity with your relationship. You are like street smart, like you understand that you can't learn everything in school and you have to learn on the job and learn from your mistakes and learn based on your experiences. And the Taurus will get that, but they're also more a believer in learning like from books and in school, and they'll be more inclined to share that in the relationship. Whereas you're kind of the street smart thinker, if that makes any sense. You think on the job, and they're the kind of person that's more intellectual in this relationship. So you both together combined are like invincible with your knowledge because you're so resourceful in different ways. This is still a very complicated relationship. It's never going to be simple. You either love each other and you feel so comfortable and understood and accepted by each other, or the exact opposite. You feel neglected or not fully understood, or like there's something missing, or like you're afraid to be honest in a sense. And sometimes you feel like you need to lie and hide who you are a little bit. Almost like you're afraid that when they find out who you really are, they're not gonna like you as much. Stay tuned in to the moments you share together. Make sure you're prepared. Remember, your differences are your strengths. Remind them to be open with you. Even though your Taurus wants you to be honest with them and blunt and straightforward, and really open up about how you're feeling, you might find that you're not very satisfied when you do. Like when you finally open up, you might think, oh my God, that's not really what I needed. It's not how you wanted them to respond, and that they lack a little compassion. As friends, you usually have each other's back. You have this like understanding, an unspoken agreement about your friendship. Your feelings for each other are very hardcore. They're intense and spontaneous and impulsive. And when you are really committed to each other and you're in this long-term relationship, all of that really amplifies. Procrastination can be a really big issue for both of you when you're together. Try to get things out of the way. Don't let them pile up and then overwhelm you. When it comes to being there for each other, there's a chance that your Taurus may not be as profound as you need them to be. What's nice is a Taurus really understands that you need time to yourself and that you're empathic. They know you need to take some space to think and relax. It's interesting, but you often have affairs together. They are so intense and romantic. It will impact your life so much and theirs. Then again, when you're together, you often cheat on each other, and usually if there's one of you that's cheating in this relationship, it's going to be you, Scorpio Sagittarius Cuspers. I'm not saying this always happens, but it is quite often for this duo. If you have any unease about feeling rejected, then it is quite possible that one of you might start being unfaithful. You understand that your Taurus isn't as hardcore as they try to be. They're stubborn, but they're not hardcore. You see their kindness and their heart, and it makes you try to be compassionate to them and kind to them in return. You can both be very confrontational when you're fighting or upset. It's like a war zone when you fight. You're so careful not to like hurt one another or cause pain to one another that honesty actually becomes a problem. You don't want to be told what to do or dismissed, so you don't bring certain things up. Affairs are really the biggest challenge. Taurus is honest. They value honesty and they value bluntness. And so when they're asking you a question about where you were, you don't necessarily remember every little thing. You're not as detailed in your memories. You don't remember every little thing you did or who you talked to, and to them it may seem like you're hiding something, whether you are or not. Taurus doesn't have time for your lies or even your omissions. You are honest with each other because you value honesty, but not when you need to be. That's where it gets complicated, right? Because you preach like you need honesty and you need trust, but at the same time, you aren't honest about certain things. You might be really afraid of letting your Taurus down to the point where you think, okay, well, this is something that it won't like help to tell them, but I can just keep it to myself. And even if you think it's not harmful, it could be, because it still makes you kind of a hypocrite. It all becomes very complex. It can cause a lot of drama. Although you love your Taurus and you give them so much, they still may not be the love of your life. And this is especially when you're both open dating. They think they're more to you than they really are, and you really care and you show that, but you're still dating other people. So they can accuse you of kind of leading them on, or they might feel that way. A lot of the passion and like sexual tension that you feel is based on mystery and the unknown, and romance may not stay as strong over time. It's really important to build trust by being open about the little things. It's not that you don't love your Taurus, but you're often drawn to other people, especially when you're dating a Taurus. Everything gets better with marriage with this duo unless there's the unfaithful bit. But just keep that in mind, that marriage can strengthen you. Obviously, don't get married if you're not feeling it, but it can make things a lot better over time. Make common sense decisions. Just make smart decisions, okay? Marriages between the two of you often last a really long time. But lies, even the little lies, can destroy you. You need variety and change. And you might have to face the fact that Taurus may not be the one for that. They won't give you what you need in the bedroom. So sexually, you may not be as compatible. And that's a lot of the reason why things end up not working out, or why you're attracted to other people while you're dating, because you want what you can't have. You need something new, you need variety. So if you can't come to an agreement with your Taurus and discuss that and figure it out, then that's a problem. I'm not saying Taurus is bad in bed. In fact, with a lot of signs, they're excellent in bed. But with you guys, it's more complicated because your sexual styles are so different, and what you require from each other is also very different. Although you may not be very loyal to your Taurus sexually, you do care about family. Family is important to you, and that aspect of building a family when you're ready for it is very good with a Taurus. But keyword ready, you have to be ready for it. You have a lot of respect for their family, and you expect the same for your family and the family you share with them. You still need to be devoted to them, even if you don't show it always. It's conflicting. As friends, you're able to chill out together. However, even though you have this unspoken agreement, if you're not careful and if you don't really maintain things, then this friendship often ends up with one of you feeling like you got stabbed in the back. And I'm not pointing fingers at either one of you. This can happen either way, Taurus or Scorpio Sagittarius. You usually end up feeling betrayed when your friendship ends. A Taurus can be very oversensitive, and it's so easy to break their heart. And it can make long-term relationships very difficult if it becomes a pattern. Friends with benefits, flings, affairs happen all the time. All sorts of relationships happen with this couple. You may expect a lot more from one another than you realize is realistic. It can destroy you. Remember, like I said, marriage can strengthen you, but that's only a temporary solution. Relationships take hard work. Obviously, you're gonna have to figure out the dishonesty if you want to keep the marriage going. But this demonstration of commitment does help. Don't get your hopes down though. Remember, there is that side where you're so accepting of each other, you are so understanding of each other, and you get each other deep down and things are awesome. So it's only if you have that doubt and that feeling of rejection that it really messes up. So overall, this can be a very successful pair. It can be awesome. But I just am gonna, I kind of wanted to talk about like all these things that could go wrong, and so you can prevent them and you can understand what's going on in your relationship and troubleshoot. Thank you so much for watching this video. It was a pleasure. Subscribe to my channel. If you are on the cusp of Scorpio Sagittarius, or you are a Taurus, or neither one, but you just want to comment below. Let me know what you think, whether this is accurate, whether you want to add something, whether you completely disagree. It's all good. Let me know what you think. I'm always curious. Bye bye now.